So Tearscape is a top-down action game that looks like an old Game Boy Color title, but plays like a Souls game mixed with classic Zelda. The game's got that retro pixel art vibe going on, really dark and gothic, and the whole thing is about exploring a creepy interconnected world, while fighting monsters and trying not to die constantly. What makes it different from other retro games is that it actually commits to the Souls-like stuff. That means you've got stamina bars, limited healing items, checkpoints that respawn all enemies when you use them, and of course you also lose your currency when you die. The combat is pretty simple on the surface. You attack, you dodge, and rolling gives you a brief moment where you can't get hit. Everything costs stamina, even attacking, so you're always watching the green bar, sometimes a bit too much actually. There's also a shield you get later that lets you block attacks perfectly if you time it right. But honestly, most people, including me, just seem to stick to rolling. The game's map and world design is non-linear, meaning you can explore in different directions and find shortcuts that then loop back to early areas. You pick up new map pieces as you go, which then fill in your actual map screen. Exploration-wise, there are keys to find, locked doors and chests. The world has multiple dungeons to explore, each of course with their own enemies and items. You will also find new tools and abilities in these dungeons that help you fight better and reach new areas you couldn't access before. When you kill enemies, they drop tears, which is the currency you use to level up at checkpoints. In traditional Souls-like fashion, you can upgrade your stats there, so that's pretty standard stuff. If you die before spending your tears, you drop them and have to go back to get them, so just like in Dark Souls as well. The game has NPCs you meet who give you quests or just talk to you about the world. Some are helpful, some need your help, and apparently some have their own secrets. There's this recurring character who shows up to give you objectives and directions. The boss fights have specific patterns that you need to learn. The bosses can require a lot of patience because of how the combat works. After you attack, there's a delay before you can roll again. Some people might find this tactical, but it can feel really slow. Now here's the thing about how it actually feels to play. The movement and combat have this old school weight to them. After the demo feedback, they added a run feature where you hold the roll button to keep running, simply because walking was way too slow. But even with that, attacks have long animations that you can't cancel, and you also can't roll until the whole swing is done. This makes the combat feel very stiff, especially against faster enemies or during boss fights. The developer has been actively updating the demo based on feedback. For example, they made healing faster and nerfed some annoying enemies, like the bats and bugs, and also rebalanced the bosses. You can furthermore mark custom pins on the map now. The game's playable in local co-op too if you want to bring a friend along. So Tearscape is for people who genuinely enjoy old Zelda games and want that experience, but with Souls-like difficulty and systems. The retro aesthetic is authentic. It plays like an old game too, with all the limitations that come with that. That means if you prefer faster, more responsive action, then the clunky feel here might get frustrating pretty quick. And this sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.